Hello everyone. I hope you are enjoying the Gibraltar International Chess Festival. So today I'll be showing you one of the games from the tournament played between the Chinese super grandmaster Wang Ho and Indian chess prodigy, the 14-year-old Praggnanandhaa. Yesterday I also showed one of his games against Vaselin Topalov and how excellently he outplayed the former world champion. And if you haven't watched that video, please check it out. I've given the link in the description below. And if you are new to my channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon in order not to miss my future uploads. So without further ado, let's start with the game. Wang Ho with the white pieces opened up with c4. The English opening is on the board. We have e5 by Praggnanandhaa, the reverse Sicilian. We have knight to c3, knight to f6, knight to f3 and knight to c6. The four knights variation. We have e3 and bishop to b4. We have queen to c2 and there are many alternatives like d6 and castles. So in our game we have bishop captures on c3, b captures on c3, queen captures on c3 would also have been played. But here we have b captures on c3, so white is just bringing the pawn towards the center, which you always should do. We have d6 and e4 by white. This just completely prevents d5. We have castles by black and g3. Probably he wants to fianchetto the light squared bishop. We have knight to d7. Yeah, Praggnanandhaa wants to play his knight to the c5 square, and also he wants to play f5 in near future. We have bishop to g2 and knight to c5 as planned. We have knight to h4 and a6. We have castles by white and b5, just striking the c4 pawn. We have d4 by white, and this is one of the aggressive moves of this game. Here white is sacrificing a pawn to enjoy some counterplay on the queen side. So e captures on d5. E captures on d4, sorry about that, e captures on d4, c captures on d4, and the knight captures on d4. We have queen to b2 by white, although I will have to tell you guys, queen to d2 or queen to d1, they are also pretty much strong, but in our game we have queen to b2 and knight to c6, and this is one of the inaccuracies that Praggnanandhaa made in this game. So here, and Wang Ho completely took the advantage of this inaccuracy. He played e5 here, and now this pawn over here is untouchable. The problem is that black's knight on c6 is badly pinned and is left unprotected over the board. We have bishop to d7 defending the knight, and e captures on d6, c captures on d6, and queen to d2, just attacking the d6 pawn, and rook to c8. We have c captures on b5 and knight to e5. We have b captures on a6 and bishop to b5, just attacking the rook and also the pawn at the same time. We have rook to d1, just preparing a queen and a rook battery and also threatening to capture on d6. And now Praggnanandhaa started harassing the rook. We have bishop to a4, rook to e1 and knight c goes to e3. We have rook to f1 and rook to c2. So Praggnanandhaa here is playing very aggressively. Queen to e3 by white and knight back to c5. We have a7 by white and bishop to c6. We have bishop captures on c6 and knight captures on c6 and queen to f3, just attacking the knight. We have knight back to d4 and queen to d5. So the queen is centrally placed and it's keeping an eye all over the board. We have knight to e2 check, king to g2 and knight to c3. We have queen to f3 and now queen to a8. So Praggnanandhaa wants to trade off the queens, and knight to f5. We have queen captures on a7, and now there are some crazy stuffs. Here white can go for bishop to h6. This is amazing move. So I think you can see that this bishop is untouchable over here, because if you capture the bishop, then queen to g4 check, king to h8 and queen to g7 is checkmate. So this bishop over here is untouchable, and black cannot go for g6 because the rook would hang. So here, sorry about that, the main move is knight to e6, and now rook to c1. We have rook captures on c1 and rook captures on c1, and now this knight on c3 is attacked twice. Here knight captures on a2 and rook to b4. So after black plays some moves like queen to a8, just giving another trade, and here white is having an amazing knight captures on g7. So queen captures on f3, king captures on f3, and knight captures on g7, and now rook to g4. And after maybe rook to e8, white can simply grab this knight, rook captures on g7, king to h8, and rook captures on f7. So white is clear pawn up, and also black's king is pretty much stuck over here, and black's rook cannot leave the 8 rank because rook to f8 will be checkmate. So here definitely white is winning. But this game didn't proceed like this. Here in this position, after queen captures on a7, Wang Ho completely overlooked this bishop to h6. Instead, he played bishop to f4, just attacking the d6 pawn, which is an alternative. So after bishop to f4, we have knight to e6 and bishop captures on d6. We have knight to g5, attacking the queen, and queen to c6, just pinning the knight. Queen to a8, just giving another chance for a queen trade. We have queen captures on a8, rook captures on a8, and e3, just defending the pawn. This pawn was attacked thrice by the knight and the 2 rooks, and now this pawn is well defended by the bishop and the rook. So here we have knight to e4 and rook to c1, and after rook captures on c1, rook captures on c1, so we have g6, and this may be an inaccuracy because this allows white to go for knight to e7 check. And now there are some tricks, because here the king cannot go to g7 square. If king to g7, then just bishop to e5 check, and after king to f8, knight captures on g6, h captures on g6, bishop captures on c3, and here maybe just rook captures on e3. So here white is a clear pawn up, and white's position is very nice. White's king is much more active, so with accurate play, white can have an advantage. But after g6, so after g6, knight to e7 check, and here Praggnanandhaa played king to f8. Knight captures on g6 with a double check, and king to g2, and now knight to h4. We have knight captures on d6 and rook captures on c3, and knight to b4, just attacking the rook as well as the pawn. And this pawn is attacked twice, so there's no question of defending the pawn. So rook to c6, and now knight captures on a3. We have knight to f5, and now king to g8. We have rook to c7, and now rook to f8. And now you can see that the black's king is pretty much stuck. So g8 and h8 are the 2 squares where the king can move. And now while white's king is much more active over here, we have king to f3, knight to b1, king to e3, rook to e8 check, and king to f4, knight to d2 and f3. We have rook to f8 and h4. We have king to h8, h5, king to g8, g4, king to h8, g5, king to g8, and knight to h6 check, king to g2, and king to g4. We have knight to f1 and knight to f5 check, king to g8, and now rook to d7. And believe it or not, it was in this position that Ramesh Praggnanandhaa resigned the game. as there is nothing to do with the black pieces. So here, what will black play? If black plays some moves like rook to a8, here white can easily trap the knight by playing rook to d1, and after knight to h2 and king to g3, this knight is totally trapped. The only way is knight captures on f3, and after king captures on f3, white will clearly emerge with a piece up, and Praggnanandhaa cannot hold this position anyway. So here he resigned the game, and that's pretty much it. So I think you have liked this video, and please subscribe my channel in order not to miss my future updates. So this is all about today's video. Thank you.